All right, ladies and gentlemen, episode 3 of a day in the life of like the what it takes to be an auto auction buyer. Okay, so today is basically how I try to stay a step ahead. Okay, so this would be on a Thursday for me, and I am in Hoffman Estates, Illinois, and the auction that I am working the vehicles at is Odessa, Chicago. My personal favorite. Okay. All right, so if you think the best buyers show up when the auction opens, you're already behind, okay? For me, Thursday wasn't about buying cars. It was about eliminating surprises, okay? My alarm would go off around 6 a.m. I would grab breakfast and head to the auction, usually arriving around 6:30 to 6:45. Technically, most people weren't supposed to be there that early, but because I respected the rules, didn't abuse the privilege, and always put vehicles back where they belonged, I earned the trust to go in early. That advantage was huge. The very first thing I did was revisit every serious contender car for Friday's sale. I'd drive them again. I'd cold start them again. I'd listen for noises that I might have missed. I'd look for leaks. I'd do my whole process pretty much over again, but it's a lot quicker. Okay. I'd ask myself one question: would I still buy this car today? And I think that's a really good thing to ask yourself. Okay. By around 7:30 a.m., that work was usually finished. Now it was time to expand my search. Even if I wasn't interested in a vehicle, I'd still drive it. Why? Because the more cars you experience, the better your instincts become. Okay, there's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That then came one of my favorite strategies. Around 8:30 to 9:30, when most people would be walking in to preview the cars, I would be ahead and I would know about every single one of those cars, and I would be on to the newest ones that are arriving that are still going to be in the sale. For Odessa, any car that arrives before 3 p.m. on Thursday could be in the sale the very next day if the seller wants it to be. So around 8:30 to 9:30, the vehicles from the drop-off lane would begin moving through detail. I already knew which of those cars I wanted to watch because I would go and swing by the detail or the drop-off lane and scan the little barcode on the sticker and just bookmark that car. Okay, and it's not going to have any images on it. It's going to say VIN is not yet ready for sale, but you can still bookmark it. So by 9:30, some of them were already cleaned and ready. So instead of wandering around the main lot like everyone else, I'd position myself near detail and wait. As each vehicle came out, I'd inspect it immediately, each vehicle that I was interested in. And if it was a car that I really liked, I'd simply put it right back in the detail lane and wait for the lot porters to move it out to its final spot. Just think about this. If a car comes out around maybe 11:30 or something, and other buyers don't know that they could go back to the detail lane and grab them and put them on spot if they wanted, or put them right back, a lot of people would probably be doing that. So when you can add, maybe 30 minutes to an extra 2 hours of time to where that car is basically inaccessible to people by leaving, putting it back into the detail lane, it helps. So let's see here. Yeah, I mean, every minute before the general public found that vehicle gave me another opportunity to evaluate it and one less opportunity for somebody else to. At that point in the day, I was nowhere near the main lot, okay? While other buyers were starting their search, I was tying up loose ends and focusing on the vehicles that actually mattered. The final hours of Thursday were all about preparation. No shortcuts, no rushing, just making sure I had every piece of information I could before Friday arrived. Around 3 p.m., the work at the auction was over. Once Odessa became a Carvana mega site, that was the hard cutoff for test drives. After that, I head back to the hotel. But the day still was not finished. There were Carfax reports to run, comparable sales to review, and notes to organize, values to confirm. Hopefully by around 7 p.m., everything was complete and I could finally relax before getting to bed around 8 or 8:30. One thing I always did was leave the auction for a quick lunch for only a few minutes away. It wasn't because I needed a long break. It was because changing the scenery for 15 to 20 minutes can completely reset your focus. People think success at the auction happens when the auctioneer starts talking. I completely disagree. Success is built during the quiet hours when almost nobody else is paying attention. Because by Friday morning, the goal wasn't to find the best cars. The goal was to already know where they were.